Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. Lately, I started seeing some articles where the Ukrainians are starting to be increasingly aggressive, verbally aggressive, towards their allies in the West. And their verbal aggressivity is especially directed towards Germany and more precisely on the fact that Germany somehow is responsible to provide Ukraine under, I don't know exactly what moral standards and rules and regulations, but to provide Ukraine with advanced weapons. Not only Germany, but mostly Germany. And I don't know why, and I can only guess why Zelensky would point his finger, and not only Zelensky, to Germany, is because Mr. Zelensky and Germany and 1930s and 40s, and Germany still has that guilt thrown around its neck, and they seem to be incapable of taking it off and throwing it back to whomever tries to put it back on their necks. But that should be done by them. Nobody else can do it for them. So if they're, but the Germans though are resisting very politely. They're resisting, but they are. The French are not attacked like that. The Brits are not attacked like that. The Americans are not attacked like that. And the idea is like this: we're losing because you don't provide us with weapons. That's the bottom line. And therefore, if we lose, you lose, because Russia will not stop until it gets to Portugal, to Lisbona, okay, to Atlantic Ocean, where they want to wash their feet in the Atlantic Ocean. This is the story, and everybody should be scared about it. But nevertheless, no evidence to support that. But who needs evidence when we have gut feelings? So in this case, we have on this foundation of we're losing because we don't have weapons. Maybe you actually I put it nicely. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe some other time. But some people have to sometime lose. You can't, maybe this is not a winnable war for you and for Western countries. But they don't want to admit it yet because they still have that pride. And as someone wrote, I can't remember where, it was something about empires. An empire is not allowed to show weaknesses, because once an empire shows weaknesses, you have little fish who are going to just fly away from you, and they're going to challenge your power, your strength. So, and then you have to continue being like, no, I'm the leader, even I'm winning if when you even when you're losing. So that's why the West can't really lose. They have to find them. Neither Russia, for the same reason. Russia cannot lose. The same here. So the only loser that is going to be pointed to probably is going to be Ukraine, and not only that, the only loser, but the problem is the loser. Ukraine was sacrificed, really sacrificed, like a whore by both sides. You have her now, and then I have her, and we don't even pay for it. So the Telegraph, Claudia Rowan from June 14th, 2022. Ukraine war latest. Russia shoot down MiG and hits weapon depot in cruise missile attack. Russia struck an artillery weapons depot with caliber cruise missiles in Ukraine's northerly Chernihiv region, the RIA news agency reported, citing the Russian Defense Ministry. Russian air defense forces shot down a Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jet, that's a good one, and an MI-24 helicopter, the TASS news agency reported. Elsewhere, Russia forces cut off the last routes for evacuating citizens from the eastern Ukrainian city of Severodonetsk, a Ukrainian official said, as the Kremlin pushed for victory in the Donbas region. So it's almost done over there. The last bridge to the city was destroyed, trapping any remaining civilians and making it impossible to deliver humanitarian supplies, said regional governor Sergei Gaidai, adding that some 70% of the city was under Russian control. Ukraine has issued increasingly urgent calls for more Western heavy weapons to help defend Severodonetsk, which Kharkiv says could hold the key, which Kiev says could hold the key to the battle for the eastern Donbas region and the course of the war, now in the 4th month. The thing is with Severodonetsk, I just uploaded 2 videos on the matter, and Severodonetsk is already the Ukrainian army in Severodonetsk is cut off, trapped. About 500 civilians are in the Azot plant, like the Azovstal plant. The Russians already discussed that they agreed to have an corridor, evacuation corridor, I think from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Wednesday or something like that, Moscow time. So they are for humanitarian reasons. And the Russians said, down with the goggles, the Russians said that the nationalists from the Azot plant, or the ones that are still trapped in Severodonetsk, and the mercenaries should lay down their arms, weapons, and surrender. Now, they will not probably do that, but because if you remember, the Azov plant surrender, the Ukrainians and the Western mass media avoid using the word surrender, but they say lay down arms or save lives by exiting, coming out, not they didn't surrender. Okay, whatever euphemism you want to use, they are in Russian custody, so that means you gave up. Whatever you want to call it. They came to see mommy, daddy, whatever you want to call it. The point is, you are in the Russians' hands, and their hands are in your ass right now, checking for anything you got. All right, so that's one thing, and that's not a figure of steel. That was literally when they get checked, not just squat. We're gonna cavity search, boy and girl. That's how it is when the army is basic procedure, standard procedure for prisoners of war and all that. And so they shot down a MiG-29. That's a big one. A MiG-25 MI-24 helicopter, and they trapped the army, whatever left over of Ukrainian army, so-called nationalists battalion, so-called mercenaries, according to the Russians, in the Azot plant and in whatever is left out of Severodonetsk. So the Russians are winning and continue to win. Maybe not at the speed that some people thought, and I could say that I'm one of them, but that was my assessment. That is not going to last this much, but I don't know their timetable, so I can't tell if they are behind schedule or ahead of schedule or on time, on schedule. I don't know. Nevertheless, maybe they do a how do you call it, detailed advancement instead of just jumping fast and then leaving behind pockets of fighters that are going to create problems. Nevertheless, this is the situation. This is the article. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.